All right, are we live? It says on air.
Yeah.
All
Hello.
right, welcome. I hope everyone can
Hi.
see us. My name is Winston Wilson. I am the host of the Courageous Creativity Show and the member or a member of the wonderful Atlanta Dramatists. I have all of my colleagues here, all of his board members here today, and we are going to go around and we are going to say who we are, and we're going to kick this celebration off today. So I am super excited about this. So why don't we turn this over at this moment to our wonderful leader, Mr. Dan Guyton, to introduce himself.
Thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. And I wanted to start us off with some excellent news. We have two brand new board members, and so we would like to welcome Anthony Erda and Miss Tanya Blackwell to our board. They had an interview. They
Woo!
both blew our board out of the water. And so we have invited them onto our board. So thank you all so much for first off being a part of the interview, and thank you to our brand new members. We're so excited to have you here. So welcome aboard. All right. And so we are so grateful to you all here watching us from home and from your phones or your TVs or whatever you're live streaming us from. We're really excited to have you here. We could not be more grateful to you all for being a part of Atlanta Dramatists, part of our journey, part of our artistic expression as we build up. This is our second year now. We're coming up to our second year anniversary. So thank you all for being a part of this. And let's go ahead and meet all of our board members. We're going to go to on my screen. I see Leonard Pressberg is our treasurer. He's our outgoing treasurer, but he's also an outgoing person. We're going to hear from Leonard. Leonard, tell us about yourself.
Yeah, hello. Good evening, everybody. My name is Leonard. I am a recovering politician and excited to have contributed to Atlanta Dramatists in the past year, helping, people who purportedly tell fiction to actually tell fiction instead of being a politician and just making the fiction sound like truth. Happy holidays, everyone, and welcome.
Fantastic. Excellent. And I'm kind of like on my screen here. I don't know what y'all see, but it kind of looks like the Brady Bunch here. And so directly below me, here's a story of a girl named Paige Stedman. Paige, tell us about yourself.
Hi, I'm Paige Stedman, they, them, and I am the safety coordinator for Atlanta Dramatists. Happy holidays, everyone. It's the third night of Hanukkah, and whatever holiday you're celebrating, I hope it's wonderful.
I love that. Fantastic. All right. And then I have a lovely couple just to my bottom right. This is Charles and Alicia Pillsbury.
Hi, I'm Alicia Pillsbury. I'm the Education Director for Atlanta Dramatists, and I hope you're having a wonderful holiday season. And this is my husband.
Hello, I'm Charles Pillsbury. I am the standard nerd, do the website, and am the representative of the puppetry community on the Atlanta Dramatists.
Wonderful. Yes, fantastic. All right. And then down below we have Miss Carol Welter, our Vice President.
Hi, I'm Carol Welter, and I am the Vice President. I'm a writer extraordinaire and a decorator.
You didn't say so yourself.
And a director extraordinaire and a poet. And I just jump in and do it, with the board. I just love to be able to see us all go forward, and I see myself as kind of the nurturer in the group. Happy holidays, everyone.
Happy holidays. Fantastic. And then down to my bottom left, I see Mia Smith, our membership coordinator.
Hi, everyone. My name is Mia Smith. I'm good to be back. I had to take a little pause for a minute, but this is such a wonderful group of people, and I'm honored to be here to share their space. Happy holidays to everyone, and enjoy yourselves. Thank you.
Fantastic. And I don't see Cameron LaFoy. Cameron is our ombudsperson. I didn't see him join us tonight. I think he might be busy with his family tonight. But he is another wonderful member of our board. We'd love to have him. And one of our newest board members here, Mr. Anthony Erda. Anthony will be, if he so approves, will be our incoming.
Hi. Yeah, I absolutely do. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm Anthony Erda. I'm an actor, writer, and director here in the greater Atlanta area, and I'm very happy to be here. Happy holidays, everybody.
Fantastic, excellent. And then down at my bottom right, our other brand new board member, going to be our we created the role of our grant coordinator, and that's Miss Tanya Blackwell.
Hey everyone, happy holidays. I am Tanya Blackwell, and I am also a writer, a poet, and a playwright, and I'm very excited to be a part of this board and get to know you all better and enjoy making great art.
Fantastic, awesome. And then Winston, you kind of did a brief introduction, but we'd love to hear more about Winston as our secretary for the Atlanta Dramatists, and tell us more about yourself, Winston.
Thank you so much, Dan. I just love it. All things theater. It just really makes my spirit strong every time I'm part of theater like the Atlanta Dramatists group. And I'm part of other groups here, and I consider myself a writer. I'm trying to be like a Carol Welter at some point in my life. I'm trying to be that kind of writer.
We all are.
And we are.
And it's just been amazing to be learning this craft has been part of our spirit as human beings to create great art and to be part of this. So I'm just loving to do whatever I can to make the Atlanta Dramatists a phenomenal group.
Fantastic. Now, the first step in becoming like Carol Welter, you got to develop that accent. She's got to.
Yeah, I'm still
got to work that out.
I'm still working on that. That's very hard to get that.
I can coach. I can do little 10-minute coaching sessions.
I've been around Carol's dialect coaching, and she's a tough one. She's good. Dialect coaching.
And Carol, you recently did a production that you wrote, and that starred Mr. Anthony Erda, and Winston was our director for that. So tell us about that show, if you can.
Winston, do you want to tell about it as the director?
I tell you, it's been one of the highlights of my life, but it was also a highlight of the Atlanta Dramatists Guild, one of the major highlights of our year last year, where we gathered really phenomenal actors to really talk about this story that Carol had written, which is based in after World War II in England. And it's about the Windrush generation of people who came from the Caribbean to the England, and then what happens there, and this love that happens, this drama, there's energy, there's excitement, it's all of this phenomenal things. And the reason why it's one of the lights of my life is that for Carol to entrust me to be part of this and to work with great actors like Anthony was just a phenomenal part of my year. So it was just a great story. We had a couple of sold out shows. It was just a really, really great time. And I'm so looking forward to it. So I'm taking my steps, baby steps, to be a Carol Welter.
Excellent. And another big project that we had this past year was our diversity festival. That was a huge thing that we put together as a selection of pieces from all different elements that make up diversity, the beautiful diversity, the beautiful tapestry that makes up humanity. We had different stories about different religions and stories about different ethnicities and different cultural groups and sexual preferences and gender identities and pretty much anything that we could think of that made up diversity. And we were able to put on 2 separate nights. And I believe Miss Carol Welter again was the lead on that, but I think Paige Stedman, and we had I believe Alicia was a big part of that, and so was Mia putting that together. Would you all want to share about that experience, what that was like putting that together?
Well, for me, it was wonderful and terrifying. But collecting so many scripts from playwrights sent us all these short scripts with so many different aspects of diversity. The hard part was choosing, but then we had wonderful directors, wonderful actors, and the Academy Theater was very kind and let us do readings of these scripts, staged readings with some movement. And the audience responded positively. It was a glorious experience.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sure was. And speaking of movement, we had a dance choreographer for that event. Tanya Blackwell was there doing our dances. Tanya, what was that like coming in out of the blue to lead the dance for that show? That really not scripted. It was sort of like an improv dance, wasn't it?
Yeah, so I was tasked with putting together a flash mob, and before that I hadn't even heard of what a flash mob was. I hadn't participated in one, and then I was trying to also find people that were willing to do it with me. And so I voluntold my son, so he didn't really have a chance, but he was very willing, and I liked because he brought his own style and energy to the dance. And then I worked with some of my other friends who were already familiar with the dance. So just trying to find something that I wouldn't have to teach people because we had a short amount of time to make it happen. And so it was fun. And I like now every time I hear the song, I think about the Diversity Festival.
Awesome. That's great. And then, of course, our standard stuff that we do here at Atlanta Dramatists are sort of bread and butter, if you will. We do our play readings. We do 2 a month. Our first Sunday of every month, we do a short plays, and several of you have acted in those or written for those. I pretty much think everyone here has either written or acted in some of those. And these are just a lot of fun. We do these are usually 6 short plays on the first Sunday of every month, and then once a month we also do a full-length play, and that can be done either on Zoom or live at the Academy Theater. And we've had a number of you have acted in those as well, and they're just a lot of fun. Different playwrights from Atlanta, but also we have plenty of playwrights that are not from Atlanta that come in and either Zoom in or travel here and come see the shows. And so it's just a way for us to help people develop their scripts. And I know a couple of you have acted in those. Would anybody like to talk about what that experience is like, acting or even writing one of the scripts that we do readings for?
Well, I can share as a person who hasn't had a chance to do an acting in probably a decade. I've been a writer for about 25 years or so. But a wonderful gentleman named Lee Raines had a great little piece for the Diversity Festival, which was really challenging and absolutely fun. I think I did it with the wonderful Victoria Allen, and that was so exciting. And the thing that I enjoyed probably the most of this is that I wanted to make sure that he felt proud of what I was doing, and I think he did.
He did.
And so that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, Lee and I talked about that recently. He talked about what a great experience that was. So that's great. And I know, Anthony, you've acted in quite a few. I can't remember. Did you write? I think you wrote one too, didn't you? Or you just...
I have.
Yeah,
I've had the privilege of both being an actor and a writer for some of our several of our shorts and several of the in-person shows. I always had a really great time when it comes to the acting. It's always the scripts are always given very promptly. It's always been very easy to have access to them, and then when I get there, they're always like printed and available for us. Usually, brought by the authors, I believe, by the playwrights, print them out for us, and it's always been a very, very fun opportunity. I've really enjoyed that, and as a writer for them, Dan has always been a great host of those and really offers fantastic questions and commentary that has definitely helped and inspired the work, and just being a part of the process has been very helpful and has inspired me to keep working on those projects.
Fantastic. I love that. Leonard is another one. I met Leonard actually at first as an actor. Not Atlanta Dramatists related, but I directed a production of The Odd Couple, and Leonard came in to play a police officer, which if you look at his normal tie-dye attire, that's an odd choice. He's fantastic as a police officer. And since then, I believe he has become typecast as police officers in shows. But he has also read for quite a few of our readings, and he's always a fantastic actor and fantastic presence on stage. But I'd love to turn it over to Leonard to just hear about your experience acting in some of these kind of off-the-cuff readings and things like that.
Yeah, and I do blame you for becoming typecast as a cop, but I find it amusing. I do find it amusing. The readings that we do are so much fun because for the playwrights, they're all at different stages of their work, and some of them have not heard their words out loud before, have not, except maybe their spouse reading them. They haven't seen it, and the playwrights get so much from seeing it and and hearing the audience react in that informal supportive environment where everyone, is there to be helpful and supportive. And, it's a fantastic opportunity for playwrights that we offer. And it's great fun as an actor because you don't have all the stress of line memorization or blocking memorization, and you can just be the character and say the words and interact with your fellow actors. So it's a great experience from the acting side or reading side. Yeah.
I would like to say that it takes a lot for the people who are listening in and who've never submitted a play before. I submitted for the first time my play, Penny the Penguin, and it was for the first time doing a children's Christmas show at a public school. I've done for the churches. And it took courage for me to be able to do that. But it was really wonderful to listen to the different actors and to receive the feedback and to be able to clean it up a little bit based on the feedback and then go back and put on a show with the kids in a public school. So if you haven't submitted a play, I encourage you to do so. It's a wonderful experience.
Awesome. Thank you, Carol.
That looks like we got a new member of the Atlanta
We need the
Dramatists.
introduction.
Ready?
We need the introduction.
He's very upset that I'm not paying enough attention to him. So.
It looks like he's a new member.
Yeah. He's like most playwrights. He's very upset that I'm not paying attention to him. So
you're paying attention to something, and it's not him.
I know exactly. But this is ready. And actually, speaking of, one of the things that we do is help playwrights develop their work. And one of the things we do is have a lot of workshops. And so we have our education coordinator here, Ms. Alicia Pillsbury. Would you mind talking about some of the workshops we've done in the last year or two?
Yeah, we were really excited to welcome CJ Albert this past year to do a series of workshops, and they were wonderfully received, and they focused on developing various aspects of playwriting, from developing character to developing settings to writing a 10-minute play and all sorts of things that related to playwriting, and those were really, really exciting. We also did a one-off series on stage combat, and that was really fun and exciting as well. And we are really, really excited about doing a youth series this coming summer in June, on playwriting as well. And you'll see more coming out on our social media sites about that very, very soon. And we are looking forward to starting to incorporate more offerings for youth in addition to adults in our coming year.
Awesome. Yeah. And we also, along with our diversity festival, we had several workshops connected to that as well. Would either you or Carol like to talk about those workshops? I know Carol had a big part in that, but I know you both were kind of working in tandem on that one.
Yeah. One of the things that I was very proud of was, and this was actually Paige's idea, was to have the educational part of it before going into the diversity festival and on different subjects. And it was really wonderful to get clarification on what diversity really is. Yeah.
Yeah, what were some of the content of the workshops? Do y'all remember the different themes that we had?
Yes, we had topics such as diversity, equity, gender identification. Help me remember some of them.
Race and ethnicity and the difference between them.
Yes, thank you. My brain is drawing a blank right now because
we had ageism.
Ageism, yes, thank you.
Yeah. Disability, socioeconomic background.
Thank you. Yes, I think we had a series of 8, if I'm not correct.
That sounds right.
Yeah, if I'm correct. Yeah, I think we had a series of 8 connected to those diversity, the diversity festival, and that was a real highlight of our year as well.
Awesome, fantastic, great. Yeah, we've just had a whole lot of fun stuff, and we got another big project coming up in the March and April of this coming year, and that's going to be our Solidarity project. It's going to be our very first full production, which is, it's a big undertaking for anybody who's ever done a full production. Being from the producer side of things, there's a lot going into this, and Paige has been our go-to person, our charge leader for this one. And so I'd love to turn it over to Paige to talk about some of the the work that we've done into it so far, and what we expect from this project.
Well, the Solidarity Project is a celebration of historical nonviolent resistance. And we've gotten submissions from playwrights all over the world, short plays, 30 minutes or less. Some of them are 5 minutes, some of them are 30 minutes. And there are so many different types of nonviolent resistance that have taken place in the world. We did limit it to before 2015 because we do want to focus on the historical aspects of it. And the hardest part so far for me has been sorting all the script submissions. I lost track of how many we had, into folders of meets the criteria and doesn't meet the criteria. And some of them, it was a really fine line. Like, if I can't tell when it's taking place, could it possibly have been that early? Oh, no, wait, they mentioned a cell phone chat and Zoom. No, probably not.
Yeah, can I just add a comment to your page and everyone? Oh, we've done so many amazing things. But when this came about to me, I said, now this is a transformational kind of project that we're doing. And as we just think about the world and what we see every time we open our devices, for us to get together and to do this in the midst of that, I really think this is one of the most beautiful things we've could have ever conceived of. So thanks for doing this. This is great.
Absolutely. And for those playwrights who might be listening, Paige, would you let us know what are the criteria that that playwrights need to meet? Because you mentioned some don't meet the criteria. We still have another week and a half or I guess 2.5 weeks to submit scripts. So what is the criteria people should be aiming for?
So the criteria, 30 minutes or less, and we need to have 5 actors or less in the script. They can play multiple characters, but I don't want to cast more than 5 actors per script because then the cast is so huge. How do we pay them, right? And it needs to focus on historical nonviolent resistance. It doesn't mean that it can't be set in the present if it's making a parallel and talking about nonviolent historical resistance that happened, say, in the 60s, in the 1200s, whenever it happened. But anything modern that's purely modern, we can't take right now. I think those are, the deadline for script submission is December 31st. So there is still time.
Yep. And you can email us at atlantadramatists@gmail.com. You can or the submissions, I believe, is on the website, right?
It is on the website, yes.
Yeah.
atlantadramatists.org
for submissions.
I believe it's under the events category. And we're open to things with music, with puppets. We can't have elaborate sets because we are going to travel to multiple theaters, and we can't do projection. But other than that, creativity.
Yep. We met Charles earlier. Charles talked about being a puppeteer, and we are definitely wanting to incorporate some of his skills into this event. So if your script incorporates puppetry in any way, that would not be a negative thing. That would actually be very positive. So Charles, do you want to talk at all about puppeteering or how that might be incorporated or anything of that nature?
Yeah, one of the things that, and I know we had talked a little bit about when we were discussing the idea of the project as a whole, is that, if you're looking at a nonviolent resistance, one of the primary ways you see that there end up being fairly large crowds of things. Some of the examples we had discussed were, the civil rights movement or the Indian independence movement with Gandhi, and a lot of those things are things where we felt like there's a lot of room for supplementing and to the visuals, or even directly primarily through the visuals with either puppet sets or of of what you think of as more traditional 3D puppets or just shadow puppets in general have a lot of latitude to really give you good scene work and visuals that really can inspire the effect of there being a large crowd. We thought that would have there's a lot of room to play there from either a writing or a directing standpoint.
Fantastic. Excellent. And one other thing I got to say, we're so proud of. I am especially proud of this for our organization. The collaborations we've had with all these other organizations. We have collaborated with the Atlanta Jewish organization. What is the name of it? What is it?
Atlanta Jewish Artists.
Atlanta Jewish Artists. I couldn't think of the third word. Atlanta Jewish Artists. We did a beautiful show, the Chametz Off, which is about, if you're not familiar with that culture, it's unleavened bread or bread in general. Right? Chametz is just bread, right? Is that
Chametz is leavened bread.
Leavened bread. I said it wrong. I knew I said it. I was like, that doesn't sound right. But it was a whole festival on, and the word bread had to be incorporated, and so all the scripts had to have that. And we got to do a beautiful production in, gosh, what was that? That was last April, so it was about a little less than a year ago, and we got to do that. And I believe Anthony got to direct his first ever play in that, right? Did you direct?
Second directing opportunity for the Chametz Off.
Yeah, and then Paige, I believe you were involved. Were you?
I was on the play selection committee, and I directed one, and I acted in one.
Acted in one, directed one. Fantastic.
Did I?
And I'm
when did I act in that? Did I act in two in that one?
Two.
Yeah.
Was that?
I want to say you acted in two.
I think I acted in two for the Chametz Off as well.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Mia, were you? I cannot remember if you were involved in that one or not.
I was not involved in that one.
Not involved. Okay. No problem.
I got to play my dream role, though.
What's that?
Dream role, singing bread. It was amazing.
Yes, the singing bread was fantastic.
I don't know how I'll ever top
I approve of this message.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
which being gluten-free, I was very worried for you about.
It would be gluten-free bread.
Yeah, it could have been. So let me ask you, the two of you that were involved, what was that experience like for you, working with the Atlanta Jewish Artists?
It was wonderful, and so many emotions with these scripts. Laughing, crying, just everybody involved was so talented.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, every collaboration that I've done with Atlanta through Atlanta Dramatists, like with Atlanta Jewish Artists, have been really amazing. A lot of the work there was very moving. I got to meet some very amazing and talented people and work with some of my favorite people as well. Had a really great time with that production.
Excellent. And some of the scripts actually dealt with peaceful nonviolent resistance. So when Paige pitched the idea, I was actually thinking of some of the scripts in the Chametz Off, and I thought, oh, that would be that'd be wonderful to make a whole festival just on that theme. I thought that was great. Another collaboration we've done is working with the Senior University of Greater Atlanta. That's also known as Sugar. And so we have accepted scripts, and we've done that the last 2 years. We've got another one coming up this year. And so these are senior citizens in Atlanta, and they get together on Zoom, and they need activities, they need entertainment, they need education, and so they reach out for volunteers. And so we have volunteered, like I said, the last 2 years. We're going to volunteer again this year, and we read scripts, and it's usually in the morning. It's 9:30 in the morning, which is like a death knell for actors, usually. But we get our coffee, and we get up, and we get on Zoom, and we perform, and it's fantastic. And sometimes the seniors will join us and act with us, depending on the need of the script, and they get to give feedback to the playwrights. The playwrights show up, and it's just a lovely time. And we like I said, been doing that for the last 2 years. We're going to continue that for as long as we can. And there's just a lovely group. So that's one collaboration we've done. And we've also, let's see, who else have we worked with? Where's some of the other collaborators? I know we've had other collaborations. I'm trying to remember who all else we've collaborated with.
I know we're doing something with Georgia Tech now. Where they're helping us.
Yeah, thank you. That was the other one that was on my Georgia Tech. So we did a fantastic organization with Georgia Tech students. So a teacher at Georgia Tech reached out saying that they were in charge of a PR and marketing class, and they wanted to give their students an experience working with a nonprofit organization and helping nonprofits in Atlanta develop their PR and marketing scheme. And so I said we would be interested. We are a nonprofit, and we would need some help. And they said, "What do you need help with?" And specifically, we talked about our youth playwriting workshop. We've tried to get it off its feet in the past, and didn't always land that one. So we asked for some assistance, and they selected us along with, I think, was it 6 others, Carol? How many others were there?
Yeah, there were 6 others, and actually we had 3 students that actively worked on Atlanta Dramatists. But when we were leaving the first session, there were other students that came and said, we wanted to get onto your team. But they divvied up the students where it could be 3 that worked with each company. But we had 3 amazing young ladies with good at marketing, great ideas, design, PR, color coordination, the layout and everything. And they were not afraid to give us good criticism. And they said, this is dated, it's old, it doesn't have enough color, you need more youth in there. And they were giving us constructive criticism. And here we were saying, well, everybody's over 40 in this group.
Not anymore.
They were saying everybody's over 40, and they poked fun at us being on Facebook. I poked fun at Dan because I told them how Dan met his wife on MySpace, and they were going, MySpace, oh my God.
They wanted to join our group though, right? They wanted to be part of our group.
And to be fair, Atlanta is a Facebook town as far as theater goes.
A lot of theaters use Facebook, yeah, for sure. But we mentioned specifically wanting to get the youth playwriting group up, and they said the youth don't use Facebook. They use TikTok is a big one. They use Instagram a little bit more, and they named a couple others that I had never heard of because I'm over 40. And so there was but it was very insightful, as Carol mentioned. They even went so far as to say, if you really want to appeal to people of a certain age, this font is better. This color coordination is better. These colors work better together for attracting this market. And they did their research, and they came in and they said, your website should have this pattern. If you're going to put the wording, you should put the picture here and the wording here. Like, they went into so much detail, and it was clearly researched in terms of what audiences expect or anticipate, and it was great. And then she also they talked about how to use different social media aspects. If you're going to use Facebook, use it for this. This is some of the ways you can format your Facebook posts that are more appealing. If you're going to use TikTok, this is what you use. If you're using Instagram, this is the size of the pictures. Like, they were really, really detailed, and it was fantastic. And it was all free for us. Like, I felt like like I was getting something illegal because it was so great and it was free. But again, for the students, they were getting class credit, and it was just a marvelous way to interact with, first off, people that are among the youth generation. Obviously, they're in college, or a little bit older than some of the young people we're trying to attract, but they are just above that age of the people that we want for this youth workshop. And so it was really, really fantastic. And they did say, if you want to get the parents to sign up, you need to use Facebook. But if you want to get kids to sign up, you got to use TikTok and Instagram and other social media markets. And so it was just a fantastic experience of learning from them. Like, here we are, we're teaching people, ways to tell their stories in better ways, and helping people develop their storytelling craft. But to learn from young people is also fun. To it's not just that we're educating, we're also learning as we go, which I thought was just fantastic. Like, I left with a huge smile on my face. Like touching my hat rim, pretty much. It was great.
Yeah, and the nice thing is that they're willing to collaborate with us further and to remain friends.
Yeah.
Some of them even came to see the play at 7 Stages, and they talked about just having more pictures, having more activity, and so on. And you felt like we have an extended family with them, which was really nice. Yeah,
it was lovely. And they came up with some great ideas too, for our social media. They said, look, you're a writing group. Why not come up with some writing games like crossword puzzles or Wordles or something like that? And I was like, that's a good idea. So I started doing that. I put them on social media. A few people have responded and interacted, which is great. And they also recommended like different maybe competitions. One of the things we do that I think is kind of fun on our social media page, if you follow us, we do what's called Your Writing Prompt for Today. And it's usually just some funny meme or some funny little thing, but sometimes people will engage and start writing something from it. And usually it's, sometimes they're profound, but again, it's hopefully it gets people thinking about maybe different storytelling opportunities. And so they recommended, why not create a competition where, if somebody writes to that theme, that you can like choose the winner and give them like a prize or something. And so we actually have one running right now until the end of the month. And so if you go on our social media page, on our Instagram or Facebook, we have a public facing Facebook page. And also if you're a writer, you want to be on our private page where we just, basically talk about all sorts of things. You can see your writing prompt for the day. And we also do this on our Instagram. And if you are interested in engaging in one of those, or writing a short story or a poem or a song or even a play based on any of these themes, and it could be any one that we've shared over the last however many days we've been doing this, or about 100 days, I think we've been doing this, feel free and you can compete for prizes. You have until the end of the month to write a script or write anything. It doesn't even have to be a script. It could be, you can write a tweet on it. I don't really care what you write, as long as you share it with us and say this was inspired by X post. So and if you are one of our top choices, I think we'll pick 3. We'll give out a Atlanta Dramatists swag. We've got like mugs and t-shirts and hats and all sorts of fun stuff. So
that's one thing we didn't mention. We do have the swag.
There's a mug.
We do have the mugs.
Swag.
Fantastic. I forgot to bring my bags downstairs in the kitchen, so I should have grabbed mine. We have some swag you can purchase if you're.
You can get that all on the AtlantaDramatists.org website. Dan, I think we're near getting to our rapid fire moment.
I see that.
This is a time for everyone to get to know us a little bit. So we got 2 rapid fire questions.
Okay.
Where each one of us can answer a question. As brevity is the soul of something. So think about that when you're answering that. So here's the first question, and we're gonna go around and around, and maybe we'll do it the way I see everyone. And so the first question is, what was your favorite theater moment of 2025? Dan, you're on my right, so you're the first person to answer this.
Me, first person. Okay, favorite theater moment of 2025.
Before you answer this, people who are listening to us, you can answer this as well.
Okay, fantastic. I'm going to go ahead and say favorite theater moment of 2025 was actually putting together the Diversity Festival. We worked really, really hard on that, and seeing that come to life and seeing people just enjoy it, and the touching stories that we heard, and just watching the audience's faces when they were listening to these stories. It was really magical in so many ways. And I kind of funny to toot my own, our own horn, for our organization, but I know the work that went into it, and it was really remarkable seeing that all come together. And it touched my heart in a lot of ways. So that was my favorite.
That's awesome. Leonard.
Favorite theater moment that has not been mentioned. I just had a fun time finishing up It's a Wonderful Life with cute kids and Christmas cheer. But I think the favorite thing that I saw this year was Fiddler on the Roof, the collaboration between the Alliance Theater and the Atlanta Opera. That was a fantastic show.
That sounds amazing.
That's really cool. Alicia.
I think I'm going to go a little personal with this one and say watching my then 8-year-old take the stage for the first time as Jungle Banyan in Jungle Book, and seeing him get bit by the theater bug that is so prevalent in our family. I think that was probably my favorite moment.
Fantastic. I love that.
That's awesome. And Charles, you can say the same thing.
I won't say the same thing, but I will it will be the kids, which is that my favorite theater moment was taking our daughter Grace over to drop her off and get her settled in at her school, where she is majoring in musical theater, and getting to go see some shows on the West End with her. particularly Born with Teeth, which was a great seeing Trudy Gatwa on stage in this wonderful dramatic role. It was amazing.
Cool.
That's fantastic. Wow. Paige.
It's hard to choose. I'm going to be really selfish here. My favorite theater moment, there's a script that I had been working on. I started as a story when I was 19 and turned into a script and has had so many iterations. And I finally, thanks to Atlanta Dramatist, I heard it and saw it up on stage, a staged reading. And it was phenomenal to finally hear it, hear what needed to be fixed, and to get the audience feedback was just, it felt amazing.
And you had a great cast too. That was with Dan Brown. Is that the one that Dan Brown directed?
Yeah, Dan directed. The cast was phenomenal.
That was great. That was so many blessings, in so many ways. There's a great director, great cast, great script. That was a really fun piece.
Thank you.
That was awesome. Anthony.
I'm also going to be selfish. I think my favorite theater moment of this year was I had my very first directorial debut as a professional at the Academy Theater this year, where I directed a show called Nantucket Sleigh Ride Redux by Sarah Michelson. It was a lot of fun, and I got to work with some amazing people. Like Dan, you mentioned Victoria Nation. She created a full-sized foam anchor for the show that we got to throw around. We got to eat a lot of Cheez-Its during the production and rehearsals. I worked with a lot of really great people. It was a really great experience.
I didn't know Victoria made that anchor. That was a cool
She
anchor.
did, yeah.
With that, yeah, awesome, great.
That's really cool. That's awesome. Mia.
Hi. Well, I have several also. I was Susie nominated for directing Skeleton Crew with the Impact Academy Theater. But I have to say I had so much fun in my scholars at school putting on a production of our version of Annie, because I had an Annie and an Andy. And just to see the boys having an opportunity to do more theater and getting them in there and singing and just enjoy the work that they did was amazing. So
awesome.
It was incredible. So thank you.
That is really cool.
And Skeleton Crew was awesome, by the way. It was fantastic.
Oh yeah, I heard. Carol.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Gosh, I had so many favorite theater moments, but probably the most favorite was going to London and directing The Merry Wives of Windsor over the summer. And we did most of the rehearsals online. And then we had 2 weeks of rehearsal to put on the show. And it turned out to just be absolutely fantastic. And then my screenplay and stage play by the same, Utopia, received an honorable mention at the Milan Film Festival. And I was able to go to Milan for a couple of days and attend workshops, and it didn't win anything, it just got an honorable mention, but it was really lovely to be in Italy and to meet so many directors and producers and writers and to learn from them. So yeah. And of course, Passing Shadows was a wonderful experience as well. Yeah.
Yes.
Great.
And Tanya.
I would say my highlight was being in the audience of the Diversity Festival. I was completely blown away. I didn't know what to expect, but the scripts were so rich and there were just so many layers, and I laughed, I cried, I learned, and I just left from that experience just being really full. And so I really appreciated that. Like, there was just so much talent coming from everywhere that made that happen, and I was glad to be able to experience it.
That is so awesome. Thank you, everyone, for your answers. For myself, it was such an amazing year of theater beyond Passing Shadows, which I've already shared as a highlight of my life. There's no doubt about it. Working with Carol and Anthony and the cast, just an amazing highlight. I talked about the work with Lee Raines and his work. In addition to all of that, I'm also proud to have been part of the Atlanta Black Theater Festival and have been the board president for the last 4+ years. They keep nominating me every year to be the president, and this year to have us create a foundational agreement with Spelman College and all of the HBCUs here in Atlanta, where we are, was such a monumental moment. So it was fantastic. So here is the other rapid fire question. Now I was going to couch this by saying 2025 as well, but I decided to just not do that. And so this is the question again. What was your favorite show or movie? I was going to say 2025, but you can answer it either way you wish.
Oh, so it could be a live theater or a movie or
movie, television show, any type of creative work you want. It could be something you watch on Netflix. It could be something you watched in the movie theater. Something that's one of your favorites. Just pick one or two things.
If I'm gonna go with favorite, I'm gonna have to say It's a Wonderful Life of all time. I watch it every year. It's makes me cry every time. I just love it. So yeah, that's my favorite.
Fantastic. Leonard.
I think the favorite when I got to see David Byrne recently at the Fox, and that not only him being a lifelong hero of mine, it was just like to see him and all those musicians perform. It was just amazing.
That's awesome.
Awesome. Jealous. Very jealous.
I think my all-time favorite is Les Mis. I'm just a Les Mis fan.
Fantastic.
For me, I'm going to cheat with two because I already mentioned Born with Teeth, which was phenomenal, and I loved it. It was such great theater with just two people on stage and so much wonderful emotion. And the other one actually is that I just recently watched the pro shot for The Merrily We Roll Along that's been on showing in theaters, that was with Jonathan Groff and Daniel Radcliffe and Liz Mendez. And it was just so good. It is now my favorite Sondheim. I really loved that production of it and that show, which does make me think that I tend to like theater that does not end on a happy note, or isn't. I like bummer theater apparently.
That's awesome, Charles. Paige.
Oh, choices. It keeps changing. Right now, and next week it'll be something different. But right now, K-pop Demon Hunter X.
Oh, I love K-pop Demon Hunter. It's fantastic.
Yeah,
I love it. That's awesome. Anthony.
Oh, goodness gracious. Okay. I have a problem with movies. I want to say my favorites that I saw this year, just because if I do all time, I'm gonna go crazy thinking about it. I saw one of my favorites that I saw this year was 1985's The Return of the Living Dead. Was a very fun movie experience to watch this year. As well as Radio Man, which I believe premiered in Belgium maybe 3 days ago.
Oh.
Wow.
Very, very fantastic films. Highly recommend.
That's awesome. Awesome. Mia.
So mine is going to be a little weird. So my sons are excited about this show that they watch. So I had to binge watch for a week to catch up with them, and it is Stranger Things.
Oh.
Yeah. Completely enjoyed it, and I cannot wait till Christmas to watch the next part of it. So I've enjoyed it.
I'm glad it only took a week, because I haven't watched one episode and I feel like I'm missing out on part of the world. Awesome. Carol.
Yeah, it's hard to pick a favorite, but something that keeps on coming back to me, and I choke up every time I think about it. It was on the Korean series on Netflix, and it's called Novelia. And it's the story of an old man, considered old. He was 60 years old, and he wanted to dance the swan in Swan Lake. And it was just so touching that he was so determined to do this. And it just moved me to tears. It was a lovely, lovely story.
So awesome. Tanya.
Um, I don't know. I'm not sure. I feel like it was this year, but it might have been last year, but I'm still going to mention it because it was so profound to me. But Inside Out 2, I used to say that Inside Out was my favorite movie because I just thought it was so well done and it helped me understand so much about myself. I'm like, dang, like I'm this old and I'm just now real. I'm like, oh, okay. It just contextualized so much for me. But then like Inside Out 2 and the whole like breakdown of anxiety, I was just sitting there in the theater like, oh my God, like are other people feeling like this like scene? Like it was just so helpful in a big way to see it that way and to like it helped to undo some of the shame and the self, the negative self-talk that goes along with um that those types of situations.
I love that movie. I actually go to a therapist, and I talked to him about it, and he loves it too. And it's like we'll use it in session. So I think it's a really great tool, and it's a great movie.
Yeah.
It's entertaining, but it's also so informative. And I wish more people would just watch it and just see that, because I think we often treat our emotions, like some emotions, as unworthy or as shameful. And I think that both of those movies, the first one and the second one, do a great job at showing us the power of even the emotions that we tend to try to shy away from. But they were great. Yeah.
That's
And then
awesome.
of course, like if you've raised a teenager, it hit in a different kind of way too. Because I was like, even like there's like my self-reflection and then the like, understanding the whole adolescence from a parent's perspective that helped a lot too. So I'm like, okay, it's not just my kid, because I was trying to figure out why my kid is acting like this.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. I have to say, last year I had a chance to see Hell's Kitchen, which was fantastic. However, a number of years ago, I went to see a show on Broadway that no longer is running called Paradise Square. And when it comes to musicals, it's the first time I've ever seen a musical that I on Broadway, which I said, I want to go and see that again. Like every time I go to Broadway, I want to go and see that again.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, it's not there anymore. But at the time, I was like, oh my gosh, it was so good.
Wow.
From a movie perspective, this is going to unbelievably give you such insight into my geekness that you're going to say to yourself. So there's this moment in growing up. This is moment in Avengers Endgame where Captain America grabs the hammer and comes in there and he says, Avengers assemble. And they go to fight. I'm telling you, my freaking lip quivers every single time that happens. I don't know if it's because I grew up just loving the world of those type of things and being a comic book artist and writer when I was growing up. But every single time that happens, I don't know what it is about that movie that makes me just I don't know why that is, but it's for those of you who know what I'm talking about from a comic books perspective, you can see how that resonates. I hope they don't do that in this next bunch of movies. I hope they do nothing to that effect. But that is so. Dan, I wanted to do this because I wanted people to get insight into how cool we are as the Atlanta Dramatists and all of the things that we know and we dig and we love.
Absolutely.
And one of the reasons that provoke us and really energize us in regards to being theater lovers. I'm going to turn it over to you and see if there's anything else you'd like us to close out with or anything else you'd like us to share with our audience that's gathered today.
Sure. I just want to say one of the things, of course, we do is help people tell their stories and encourage people to tell stories. And we hope that we have those moments like, the Avengers Assemble. But even if it's not a big epic story, even if it's a personal story about, somebody dealing with the death of a loved one or, whatever stories we may have inside ourselves that we want to tell, those moments that capture the audience, I think, are so profound and so powerful. And I said something to this effect when we did the Chametz off, but without storytellers, all of our histories would disappear. Culture, whether you are a member of a certain cultural group or an ethnic group or a religious group, or we talked about diversity and equity and inclusion, but you wouldn't know your culture without stories, and storytelling is what keeps our cultures alive. It's what keeps us civilized, whatever that means, and so we need those stories. We need that connection to our past, to our present, to our future. Some of my favorite stories have been science fiction. I love science fiction, in part because it tells us what the future could be, and even the dystopian stories tell you what it could be in a bad way, right? But it gets you thinking about what the future could be, but also historical fiction and historical dramas tell us what the past could be. I cannot stress how important stories are, and yet we see, whenever schools have budget problems, they cut their writing staff, they cut their theater, they cut their arts, and yet that is what keeps us human, and that's what keeps us, wanting to live and succeed and thrive and interact with others. And without those stories, I think we as a society just fall apart. And I think that's so important that we continue to tell stories and help each other tell stories, and that's kind of why we exist. And so thank you all for being a part of helping to tell stories, and thank you all in the audience who are telling stories and listening. Of course, we need people to listen to stories too, so that's what I want to say. But if anybody else wants to chip in, feel free.
You can go to AtlantaDramatists.org website or our Facebook pages or Instagram. Please get involved. We have a strong building community. Everything that Dan just said in regards to us telling stories is who we are as human beings. And the more times we tell stories that are relevant and important, the more we energize and the more we grow. And we want you to be part of that. So please go to any one of those places and say, hey, let me just plug into this or plug into that, and just listen and be part of it. Because of all of the groups I've ever been involved in, the thing I so much love about Atlanta Dramatists group is that I personally feel safe here. I feel that there is no guardrails that says, well, you got to be X, Y, and Z before you can submit a work to have a reading, or you have to do Y, Z, and X to do this. I feel like it's opening to who we are as human beings. So I so much love everything that we've done. And it's just the beginning. How many years now, Dan? 2 years we've done?
2 years. We're 2 years in. So, yeah.
So it's going to be so much more that's be coming. So please join us. And as you can tell, we got 2 new phenomenal board members. Lerner, we can take this opportunity to totally thank you for all of your efforts. You did such a phenomenal job in helping us to be so structured that it gives us the foundation to go forward in the future.
Yeah, we'll miss Leonard. Leonard, of course, will be around to do reading stuff, but we'll miss him on the board. But he has been foundational and instrumental to so much of what we've done, from getting our 501c3 to doing our taxes the first year. I wouldn't know what to do with that stuff, and he just was fantastic, jumping in, giving us a framework to operate from, and we thank you from the bottom of our hearts and everything else. So thank you, Leonard. Appreciate you.
Well, thank you. It has been just an amazing honor and pleasure to work with you guys. And, I often feel like, the theater outsider because I'm just, a little hobbyist, but I'm always amazed at the talent that you all bring to what we do. It's been such a pleasure.
Great. Thank you. Excellent. And yes, come play with us some more. Do some readings and do some activities. We'd love having you on board with whatever you want to participate in.
And again, welcome to Anthony and Tanya. You guys are going to be such great additions to our group. So we thank you for joining us as well.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
In whatever way you celebrate the holidays, we wish you to have a great one. We hope you get this is a moment for you to rejuvenate. So whatever you do, whether you go see family, whether you just take it easy, whatever it is, we hope that it's relaxing and it's renewing to you. And we, the Atlanta Dramatists, are going to be there for you in the future. Thanks again, everyone, for allowing me to host this and put this on this platform, because it just feels great to be part of this organization. Everyone, take care and have a phenomenal holiday time.
Thank you.
Happy
holidays.
holidays.
Happy holidays.
Happy New Year, too.
Bye.